Joseph of Arimathea ended up donating his family's prized possession, a new stone tomb for Jesus to be buried in. Man, it was costly. It was ornate. It was the tomb that would house royalty. But wait a minute, the Bible says when Jesus was on the earth, he didn't have any place to lay his head. The Bible says he didn't have a home to live in. He lived in the home of other people. The Bible says he didn't have a table to eat off of. He ate off the table of his disciples around the countryside. And now, at the end of his life, he has so little, he's being buried, he's being interred in a borrowed tomb. You say, that doesn't add up to me. I don't understand how this man who had nothing, how this man who couldn't place his hands on anything when he was on the earth, now is being buried in such an expensive and ornate tomb. Folks, let me tell you why that is. Because his job on this earth, the Bible said it all the way back in the Old Testament. He's despised and rejected, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. He was beaten on his way to the cross. He was mocked. He was scourged. He was whipped. He was spit on. People called him awful names. They said every wrong thing about him they could say. But now, God says, the work is over. Now God says the sacrifice is complete. Now God says the reason he came has been done away with. He no longer has to die, and God says, don't ever let another finger touch his precious face. Don't ever let another hair be plucked out of his beard. Don't ever let another fist touch his body. Don't ever let another name or accusation be hurled against him to his face. God says, let Joseph of Arimathea, the counselor, attend his funeral. Let Nicodemus, a member of the Sanhedrin, come and sit in at his funeral. Let him be buried with the royals, because the sacrifice is over. The debt has been paid. The work has been done, and he will now be celebrated. He will never be despised again, not in my presence. God said, bury him like a king. He's no longer a servant. He's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. That's why he's in such a costly tomb.